Hi everybody, this is a video to show how to use StatSuite. In this case, it's a video only for the menu data. There is one video for each menu. Okay, so the first step is how to input data manually. Manually without using a file, without loading a file, without saving a file. So there is a cell we can read input data. So if we click there, we can input some data there. Okay, so now we have two options. We can click on Add, or we can click on Intro in the keyboard. Okay, so let's try both options. First, we click on Add, and another value, and we click on Intro in the button on the keyboard. Okay, so we have both options. So let's input more data. Okay, so let's imagine that there is a typo here, there is an error, and we want to correct. For example, the number 21.7, this one, should be 21.8. Okay, so how can we correct this typo? So we have to click on the number we want to correct. Okay, and the number is written in the top, appears on the top. So we click there and we change the 7 to 8. And now we have to click on change, green text change. Okay, so this is the way to correct typos. And now imagine we have to, there is a mistake and we forgot to type a number between number 1, number 2, positions 1 and 2. Okay, so we have to add a number there, insert a number between 1 and 2. So the way to do it is to click on the position 2 and we click on insert. Okay, so there is a new position 2, and the number is 0, so we have to change the 0. Okay, so for instance, this one, and now we have to click on change. Okay, this is the way to insert a number. So now if we click on compute, we have the main statistics of this sample. Okay, and all this information can be copied to the clipboard. So the way to do it is click on the top on help options, and now we click on copy results to clipboard, copy on results. Click on results. Okay, so now we can paste this this summary of statistics in whatever software. So next we have to explain the transform menu. So we click on transform, and we have some options for this sample. We have ordering data, order data minimum to maximum. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, they are now ordered, and we can apply some formulas to the data. For instance, we can compute the square root, and we can now compute the square, so we will obtain the same numbers. And we have the option of standardize. Is each value we subtract the mean and we divide by the standard deviation. Okay, but this is not reversible, we cannot go back. Nice, so we click now on close, and if we want to delete one of the numbers, we only have to click on this number. For instance, we want to delete the third number, 32.5. So now if we click on delete, okay, and we can delete all the contents clicking on delete all. So The next step is to explain the filter on the top right. Okay, so we can filter the data. So let me show you first the global data menu. Okay, we can here have a look to all the samples that StatSuite has. Okay, so we only have content here on sample A, and there are three samples. Classifier is a numeric sample to classify in groups the data. So imagine that sample A, let's go back to menu data. Sample 8 is some length. So let's change the name of the sample here. Okay. So now sample A is length. And we can input more data in the rest of samples. So I have clicked on the top to choose the sample to work with. For instance, sample B, and sample B is, for instance, weight. Sorry. Okay, weight. Okay, so if we go to global data, we see length and weight. And let's imagine that this length and weight belongs to men, women, and we want to classify this data. So we could use classifier. We could use one for men and two for women. So we could input now, for instance, the two first values are men and the rest are women. Okay, this is the way to classify the contents. But we can go to one of the labels. We have label 1, label 2, and we could use M and woman. So, okay, this is the way. And now we could filter the data. Okay, so let's click on filter, and imagine we only want to compute the statistics for men. So we have two options: classifier equals to 1, or label equals to M. Both are working in the same way. If you choose several options, the filter applies to each option at the same time. So the values have to fulfill all the selected options at the same time. Now, if we click on filter and close, okay, we see the funnel symbol flashing. That means that the filter is active. Okay. So, if we go to length, we see that there is a label saying n sample size 2 of 5. So now if we click on compute, this is okay. We see the length. We see only two values, the values for men. Okay. So if I click on filter again and change this to W, filter and close, now we see the length, the three values that are for women. If I click on compute, we only compute the statistics for these 3 of 5 values, because this is the filter. To unfilter the data, to remove the filter, just unselect all the filters and click on filter and close. And now we see that the funnel is not flashing, the filter is not active. Okay, so let's have a look now how to import, how to save data in files. So we click on import export, and we have the first option is for saving files. So we click there, and we have load, save. So let's save this data we have. So we click, we type here a name. This is a video. So let me name this file video. And now we have the option to choose, the option to save all the samples in one file is this option, or to save only one of the samples with content. Okay, if you save all samples, when you load this file, if you have some contents in the StatSuite, they are going to be deleted. Okay, so that's the only problem. All the previous content you have in the StatSuite is going to be deleted. If you save only one of the samples, then you can load the sample in whatever sample. Okay, you can load sample A length in sample C, for instance. Okay, so let's first try saving all the samples. So we click on Save Data. That's it. Or we can only save, for instance, length. So let's use the same name, and we click on Save Data. Okay, so let's have a look to the content, global data, or we can click on the top, and the last option is Summary All Samples, and we see on blue the samples that are not empty, the quantity of in each sample, and the mean and standard deviation of the samples. So let's now load. So we click on Load Origin User Files. These are examples for the application. This is going to be used later in other videos. So let's click on User Files, our files. Let's click on Seek File. Okay, and here you can see the last one, video, is the file with all the contents on, and we have the length file. So if I select length, the length, now I have the option to preview the content. The content is here. The name of the variable is length, and the content is a plain text file. And now we have to choose the destination where we are going to load this sample. So for instance, I'm going to load it in sample D. Then if I click on Load Data, if I go to Global Data, I can see in sample D the same content as sample A. Okay, this is the way of saving and loading data using files. So let's go back to Data menu. And well, now I'm not going to explain all the options in the Import Export menu, because otherwise the video will be very long. But there is an interesting option, is the last one, Generate New Filter Sample. So imagine that I want a sample only with the content from sample A, but only for women. So what is the sample origin? Length. We click length. What is the new sample? We choose an empty sample, for instance A. And now we apply a filter. Filter could be, if we want women, could be this, or this one. It's the same. Okay. So let's use this. And now if I click on Generate a Clause, okay, Okay. Now if we go to sample D, sorry, global data, and sorry, sample A, data sample A, we see the new content is the length for women. Okay, so we have created a new filtered sample. So now we click on import export. There are many options here. Let me just show one of them. Is filling cells with numbers. Is filling labels is very similar. So filling cells with numbers. Imagine that, for instance, instead of writing 1, 1, 1 for men, 2, 2, 2 for women, I want to do it in automatic way. So in this case, value for filling 1, number of times 2, there are two men. So I'm going to overwrite, so all the previous content for classifier is going to be deleted. So let's click on fill. So if we go to classifier, there are 2 ones. And now imagine we have 30 women or something like that. But let's do the same, 3 women now. So we'll click on import export, fill cells with number. I'm going to append, that's very important, otherwise the 2 previous values are going to be deleted. Value for filling 2, number of times 3. If I click on fill, okay, we can see the content showing men, women, and of course we can do the same clicking on filling labels. So in this case I fill M 2 times, overwrite, fill, now append women 3 times, fill. Okay, and we have the same content as before. Okay, this is just a summary of data menu, and remember that in each menu we have a different video explaining how to use StatSuite. Thanks for watching.